Hi, it's Cynthia. Welcome to Cooperative Unison Reading, a video slideshow. I want to take you through a tour of classrooms to show you about how you set up Unison Reading through pictures. And I want to in advance apologize for the sound quality. I didn't have my headset microphone on. The prospect that this would get retaped in a timely manner is not very likely, so I went ahead and produced it. So just turn up the volume and bear with me, please. Thanks for watching. First thing we want to do is show the kids where Unison Reading fits into the scheme of work time using the diagram of the activity block. Teach into Unison Reading. Make sure that you've taught the rules of Unison Reading. The rules are downloadable. There's a PDF version of the rules. They should be photocopied and laminated, put in all of the Unison Reading bins. There should always be a copy of laminated rules on every single Unison Reading table. And when the kids break the rules, you need to make sure that you reach and teach into the rules so that the rules become internalized into the group process. This is an example from a classroom about how a teacher is taught into agency and intention. Here's an example of Unison rules that were posted in a room. Another example of some teaching into some of the categories on the Cooperative Unison Reading record. Another example. Collect your observations from your Cooperative Unison Reading records. Examples like this, when kids are doing smart things. And then take opportunities to teach them in your grassroots lessons. And then take opportunities then to post these insights on the walls. These then become remnants of teaching into positive norms and conventions for ways of thinking about how to interpret and handle written language. Another example from the genre category on the Cooperative Unison Reading record that was taught into. These are all from Lauren Wren's class. She did a wonderful job of doing that. This is another teacher who taught into reading responsibilities. Every student needs to understand that they have an opportunity or they have a responsibility to read across different categories of text. So current events, newspapers and articles, fiction, nonfiction, exemplars for the things that they're writing, social studies and science for their credit-bearing classes, and past and future Unison Reading texts. Also, kids need to know that in order to build reading fluency, they need to read texts that are familiar to them. So you should teach into that connection. Text selection for independent reading. This is a remnant of some instruction there. Another example of some good teaching. A little piece of chart paper. And this is a good lesson from Ariel Riccardi, who it sort of caught on across the school. She did a lesson with the kids and asked them to compare their thinking process in unison compared to independent reading. So in this group, unison, the blue bar, and independent reading is the green bar. So in terms of rereading, when you're independently reading versus in unison, how often or not do you do it? How often or not do you make notes? How often or not do you predict, analyze the layout of the text, use outside resources, and think about the message in the form of opinions? And so the kids from the bar graphs here tend to be more active in unison. some processing of when do you stop the group during unison reading. For people new to unison, this is especially important to the kind of thing that you want to do in the large group, and take advantage of the lesson as a context to do some of this norming, because kids who aren't used to unison, of course, will be used to teacher directive lessons where really they're not permitted or allowed to speak unless the teacher has invited them or asked them. And so unison, where students are expected to take initiative, need to really be provided instruction and known that it's an expectation that they take agency. So this is the kind of instruction that you're going to need to take responsibility for. Here are some other examples just of the kind of teaching that goes into unison. Unison reading rules, group leader expectations, unison reading group sign-up procedures, and conversational prompts. What is unison reading? How do we read in unison groups, and how does unison reading work? This is a close-up of it, something that was in a previous slide. Getting started in unison. This is something that it's interesting, especially in low-achieving high schools initially when you're getting started. Kids who come in as really low readers really just approach text mechanically because they have been taught poorly. They read mechanically. They don't read as if the text is supposed to be treated as a form of action, and that you really need to approach it as if it's a life force. And so you need to teach kids to understand that you really need to figure out how this text is behaving and how you need to approach it as something that has a personality. And so this is an example of some instruction that happened around that. Again, here's an example of the reading domains off the unison reading record. You could take the record and put it on a document camera and begin to talk about all of those categories. It's enough instruction to last you a long time. And then again, using those domains and categories as lenses through which to look at group behaviors in unison reading is a good way of trying to figure out what you're looking for and what you're looking at, and to gather some grassroots lessons. Here's some prompts for text selection in unison reading. What are my classmates' interests? Is the text challenging enough? Is it too hard? There's nothing more boring than a group that has a text that's too hard and no one's willing to admit it, and they have to slog it through the whole week. Will the text last until Friday? Do I need a backup text? Am I choosing a variety of genres and topics in my selections? Try looking at the cover, reading the cover lines, reading the first few paragraphs, and scanning the layout. Here's a text sign-up system from Emily Page's classroom in 8th grade. Another text sign-up system from High School of Language and Innovation. Another sign-up system. And another. Reader schedule. Another reader schedule. Unison sign-up. It's important to get your sign-up systems started before the school year begins, and to teach into them in really clear ways. Perusing text, you should make sure you provide a lot of time, and independent work time during reading is the time when students should be looking through texts that are posted. Text for the following week should be posted in plenty of time so that kids have a lot of time to look at the text that they want to read. And there should be a system for sign up so that kids have a fair chance at choosing the text that they want. In other words, you should be systematic about subgroups getting fair opportunities to sign up for text, so that, say, group 1 signs up first this week, and then they sign up second next week, and third the following week, so that it's not always the same kids that get to sign up first. Here's another sign-up system. Be careful though, because kids will move their names, their name tags. This was from a first grade class, I think, the reading schedule. Sixth grade class. This is an example of a sign-up schedule. Had this week's readings posted and this week's schedule posted and the text for this week, so that the leaders could come and get them out of the transparent folders, and then it had text for next week so that students could peruse the text and decide which groups that they wanted to sign up for. Again, this week and next week's. Here's a list of next week's leaders so that they knew in advance that they needed to sign up or look for text. You can see there's a lot to the facilitation of responsibility distribution in unison reading. That's one of the things that teachers need to really be careful of taking responsibility for and to hold students accountable for. Organization is also really important. Every table during unison reading needs to have a bin on it. Should have a dictionary. It should have a whiteboard and erasable markers, unison reading records, unison reading rules. There should be globes in every class. And the bins should not be on the table. The table should be cleared when unison reading is happening. The bin should be on the floor, because kids need to be able to cross-reference text of one another. The leaders are responsible for picking up the bins and bringing them to the table. Every teacher should keep assessment binders with cooperative unison reading records in them. Every cooperative unison reading session that teachers sit in on to facilitate should be recorded. Here's another example of bins. Here are leader bins, group bins for unison reading. Another bin. Here are some reference materials. In the upper grades, when kids start doing unison reading in their content subjects, they need to have access to reference materials, so you need to make sure that you have well-stocked classrooms of reference materials. And in unison reading in elementary schools, you need to have plenty of magazines. Magazine articles are perfect cooperative unison reading texts because they last about a week, and they're high interest, and they provide broad set of possibilities for interest levels, or interests. And they cover a lot of possibilities for interest. Magazines. Round tables are best for unison reading. They facilitate conversation in the best way. And I wanted to point out in this room, the little table in the back is nice because it noise level, brings the noise level down in the back. During unison reading happens during the reading work time block, and there's a conference going on. Their conference is going on during the block too. When kids have their conference, after they have their conference, they do a reading share. So I just stuck this slide in here to show you the prompts for the reading share. Another example of a round table. This is a perfect size for cooperative unison reading. You can see how the kids can so easily cross-reference text from one another. And there's the whiteboard. So they're really doing a lot of thinking. Facilitates the sharing of ideas, so that the ideas are they can really be handled really smoothly and efficiently. Digital timers are really important. Digital timers are handy tools in unison reading because in classrooms, because there's so much changing. Digital timers are useful in the classroom because unison reading lasts only 15 to 20 minutes and there's a lot of movement. And so when the digital timer goes off, it's not disruptive. Kids know exactly when they need to get up and move around. And unlike shouting across the room, it's much less disruptive to the hum of work time. Here are instructions for how to use space where groups meet. It's important to label your tables so that kids know exactly where they need to go. And groups, when leaders are assigned, they should be assigned to spaces, and so that they know where they need to go. And then when kids sign up for groups, they'll sign up for leaders who then are assigned to spaces. So kids in groups know where to go. Here's an example of the reading domains that align with the reading domains on the Unison Reading record we talked about earlier. They're posted, laminated, and taped onto an assessment binder so that the teacher, while she's taking records, she can refer to them in her note-taking. Another Unison Reading display wall, so everyone knows what their responsibilities are for the week. Here's a word wall. When kids breach in unison reading, most of the time it's about vocabulary. And so these are words that were breached around, posted onto a wall. It's a good idea to save space in your classroom for words that come up in unison reading. And this is an ethos of unison reading. We don't tolerate confusion. It's part of the unison reading rules. Rule 2, breach when you have something to say or you have a question. The whiteboard's really essential. It's a way to work out confusions, share ideas, make thinking transparent. Here's an example of some thinking that a group did about the word altitude. There's a word wall in the classroom. Here's words of wisdom from Sabina McNamara's classroom in 6th grade. This is from high school for language and innovation. Procedures: stop your unison reading group when you reach an unknown word. Figure out what the word means by using the dictionary or discussing it. I would add also thinking about the structure of the word and the meanings that the pieces of the word carry. Be able to explain the word to anyone who might still be confused. There's the word wall. These are what we called archive text, retired texts. And it's really great if you can archive retired unison reading texts and then categorize them by subject, because kids, they know they exist and you encourage them to use them. They're perfect for building reading refer back to them and have something to read during independent reading time. They can then come up as new unison reading texts. Some kids have trouble finding text for unison reading, so these are good examples. A lot of kids need reading models, and retired texts become really great artifacts for kids who need ideas. There's another example of some retired text. Here's a classroom with some nice little spaces for kids to read and meet. Resources, a couple globes. Good readers look for what's confusing. A unison group in action in Amy Pillar's classroom. She's taking notes. Amy Pillar's classroom again. There she is in the back with her group. This is a pre-K class with 3 unison groups meeting. In pre-K, that's when kids are beginning, when theory of mind is beginning to kind of take hold in the human mind, when human beings acquire the ability to think about how the world works from the perspective of other people. And so unison is really ideally suited to